Welcome to The Glitter Effect, a podcast dedicated to shining a light on the movers, shakers, change makers, and all-round living legends of our communities who are making a real difference. I am thrilled to be joined by someone who truly embodies what it means to spread glitter with purpose, passion, and impact. The incredible Therese O'Neill is a powerhouse in every sense of the word, a multi-award-winning business coach, speaker, and personal branding warrior who has helped over 250 business owners bring their ideas to life and grow thriving, purpose-driven brands. But what really drew me to Therese is the way she uses her voice and her platforms to create meaningful connection and spread her glitter wherever she goes. And as a co-founder of Women Supporting Women Network, she's built a community of over 1,200 women lifting each other up. But it's also her work with Man Talk Wellness that really shines a light on a different and incredibly important kind of glitter, which we will unpack as we get going. Man Talk is a not-for-profit creating safe, judgment-free spaces for men to connect, to talk, and to be seen. No filters, no judgment, which I absolutely love. And in a world where we're still learning how to better to support men's mental health, this is glitter that truly matters. So let's dive in. Therese O'Neill, welcome to The Glitter Effect.
Thanks very much for having me, Kate.
I'm thrilled to have you. And if anyone's just listening to this, Therese is absolutely donning her glitter on and she is owning the glitter effect right now. Therese, again, thank you so much for giving up your time. I know you are one incredibly busy lady. Let's go right back to the beginning and tell me, let's start with what first drew you into the world of, say, business coaching and that connection and just community as a whole. And was this always part of you, or is it something you've learned to enjoy as time has gone by?
Yeah, excellent questions, Kate. I suppose I'll start with by saying that I started my career in the finance industry.
Yep.
Back when money was invented, and I fell into coaching quite by accident. So it was 20 years ago. We were entering the GFC.
Yep.
I was working for Citibank in commercial lending.
Yep.
As a result of where we were at the time, so they closed their commercial lending division, which really sucked.
Yep.
I, at the same time, moved over to Melbourne from Adelaide.
Okay.
Not really knowing anybody, so I had to build a community of people to, settle into a new city. I had lived in Adelaide for 7 years. I had to do the exact same thing. I lived in Townsville. I lived in Cairns, I lived in Sydney, so I'd moved around. But anyway, at the time, Citibank shares dropped from 100 US down to 1, so a lot of people got retrenched. I was one of those people.
Mm-hmm.
And then when looking for new opportunities, I was in Melbourne. I had a 4-year-old daughter who let me know that she would like to spend more time with me. So I made quite a conscious decision to do nothing for 6 months, explored my options, and mentoring new mortgage brokers starting out in business was an opportunity that had just opened up. So I got qualified and jumped in, did that, built a mentoring business. My intellectual property became part of the very first industry certified mentor program.
Yep.
And that's how I fell into it. And most recently, though, I work with, not new to industry, but with experienced business owners now across a raft of industries.
Oh, okay. So you are across lots of different industries. So I met you, full disclosure, I met you a few years ago through a mutual friend of ours, Louise Larkin and Chelsea Deacon, at an event. And you are incredible. You hold a room and you have built such an incredible network. My hat goes off to you because you really do, as I said in your intro, you really do spread glitter wherever you go and your trail is left way behind you as well. So well done for you. It does take a certain type of person to do that, and you're clearly a born leader. But I know you said you were in finance, because you are really a very, a leader, a renowned leader in this space now. Is this something that you've learnt over time, or did you realize that you had those skills that you could then just refine them, or how did that go?
Well, look, again, Kate, it's been all quite accidental.
Yeah.
Again, you move to a new city, and again, Melbourne wasn't just the first time you moved to a new city. It's up to you to put the effort in to make friends and build a community. You've
Yep.
got to appreciate that most people that you run into have busy lives,
Yep.
and most people have a full friendship book.
Mm.
So you've got to probably overplay your hand.
Yeah.
To break through, to say to people, please make some space for me.
Mm.
And I appreciate that because I know the effort that's involved, and friendship isn't just meeting somebody once. It's about the investment over time and going through a roller coaster of emotions and experiences with people. So I think it was a survival skill. I left my hometown of Bris Vegas in my mid-20s with my first practice husband. And so just everything I had to work that out at a young age, relatively.
Yeah, that's good. And you've certainly worked it out. This is certainly your calling. Now, what do you think with we'll unpack a bit more about Man Talk and your Women Supporting Women network. But what do you think it is about that you crave about the connection and other people crave about connection, and why is it so successful, these networks?
Well, it's part of the human condition, right, Kate? So that we, as fully functioning humans, we like the proximity and the connection with others, especially when we have things in common. And I suppose with both Man Talk and also with Women Supporting Women, they're built around support, and they've also been built around what at the time we identified it as perhaps some gaps in the market. I, as I said, been in this industry since finance was invented, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So it was probably pretty ugly in the 80s and 90s, but have survived.
Yeah.
It can be a very lonely place, and I think I probably had to do some fighting that I would hope that my daughter does not have to do. So with Women Supporting Women, I suppose we met at our first event post-lockdowns.
Yes, yeah.
In Melbourne.
Yeah.
And the thing with COVID, so as your world gets smaller, you stay home. I saw that with my mother as she aged and then passed away. So her world got smaller. The people that you hang around with becomes smaller. The fear grows.
Yep.
And I think during COVID times when we were locked down, we missed a lot of that connection, and it's been challenging to get that connection back.
Yeah.
People have become used to being a goblin in their own home.
I like
and
that
it's
term.
a lot of effort. So I think what we're demanding for connection, or going to put ourselves out there to attend an event where connection is promised, that we're on that it's authentic.
Yeah.
And you've got to put some thought, out of respect to the people that you're asking to come and support, some thought into what the conversations are going to be about and who you're going to get to speak. And do you want to provoke some sort of thought leadership discussion? And I think with that, again, I go back to COVID when we were locked down and some people are still there. The human condition also, like the more time you spend alone or in a solitary environment, the louder your internal voice is. And 70% of our internal thoughts are negative, and it's not necessarily a healthy environment. But if we go out and connect with other people, share stories, find that we're like-minded because we're empty nesters, we've both got twins, or whatever it is, then we share some of those thoughts that we have. Other people say, I have exactly the same thoughts. We feel better.
And I know for a fact I've a part of a few networks, and I have to really make myself go. And some days you go, oh, I could do without this. But when I go, I always feel enthused and I feel like I'm re-energized, and I'm like, it was well worth going because I've connected with new people or spoken about, as you said, things in common. You find people, you've got that common denominator. And so it's never a wasted time. It's just, it's just getting out of your little funk, isn't it? When you're in your little routine, just to try and move yourself out and go into that space. So which one came first? So was it Women Supporting Women Network or was it Man Talk that you're
It
involved
was
in?
Women Supporting Women Network first, Kate. So
Yep.
we're now, with my co-founder, Manisha Ray, we are now in our 6th year. So
Amazing.
we took over a Facebook group. It had a couple of hundred people there. I was there from the start.
Yep.
Just prior to COVID, I was doing gatherings just with groups of like-minded women to start with, Bayside. So we grew from 3 women up to a very cumbersome 30.
Yeah.
It became difficult to catch up once a month.
Yes.
At the same time, I was running a mixed event at Hotel Chadston.
Yep.
Again, that started to get cumbersome at like 30 people, so the first Tuesday of every month. And so I merged it all into Women Supporting Women.
Yep.
Then we went into lockdown, so we changed from face-to-face gatherings to just some online communication and a regular Thursday Kahoot quiz so that mums could have a break from homeschooling.
Yep.
And have somebody else look after the precious darlings that are going to school for 1 hour. So, and then as soon as lockdowns then became a thing of the past and we started doing face-to-face events, and we do about 6 events a year now for Women Supporting Women across the country.
Which is amazing. So, and you just keep building, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah. So now we're at 1,200.
Wow.
So yeah. It's very exciting.
And from all walks of life.
Correct, Kate. So it started out with just people in the finance industry, but that's now grown. So we've got authors, we have women from other financial services industry, people in property, people in law, people in conveyancing. So they are all now members of the Women Supporting Women Network because they want to get together and mix with like-minded people.
And look, and I think, and a nice segue, women are generally a lot better at doing this kind of thing than men. So and generally you don't cross over, which is why I love what you're doing. How did you then, so you've created this successful thing, how did you then get involved in Man Talk? And talk us through what that is and why you got involved with men as well.
Yes, so it's quite different. So we've always had we're very inclusive with Women Supporting Women. So we've always had a core group of men supporting us.
Yep.
So sponsoring us, turning up to events, promoting that, telling other people to come, being there themselves, and some of them have even presented at our events.
Great.
Then about 3.5 years ago, we had a shocking year in our industry. So 10 men committed suicide. 10 people committed suicide. 9 of the 10 were men.
Right.
And the last one was a very high-profile figure in our industry that probably almost everybody knew.
Yeah.
At that time, those men that were involved behind the scenes in Women Supporting Women reached out and asked if I could, through my connections, if I could get an event organised for men to talk about how they're feeling, their vulnerabilities, what's pushing them to the limits, maybe share some stories so other men can identify, oh, okay, that's what pain is, yeah? So I resisted strongly. It was like November. I had just finished doing 6 events for Women Supporting Women.
Yeah.
I spoke to key people in the industry. No one wanted to touch anything that had suicide in it. Right. So I was with a bunch of friends. We were there at a hen's night, and my friend Trip de Goya convinced me that we could do it. She said if everybody helped, we would be able to pull this off. So anyway, that's what happened.
Okay.
And that was a standout success. We had 140 men attend the event live in Melbourne.
Wow.
And then we also live streamed it on our private Facebook group as well.
Fantastic.
We had men sharing. So it started out with men sharing stories of what pushed them to the edge mentally.
Yeah.
So we had one fellow whose son at the age of 14 had jumped off the roof of a school building, very deliberately. They're still working through that trauma. He has survived, which is wonderful. And but for him to talk about how that hit them as a family, what that meant for him, he needed to take time off a very senior C-suite role to be able to be there for his family. We had somebody else who had tried to commit suicide. We had somebody that nearly lost their business, and talked about the financial impact on his mental health. It was amazing. Somebody else on the panel had ADHD and talked and was on the spectrum, so talked about, functioning with that and the challenges of that. We then had some mental health professionals from the Alfred that work in suicide prevention and the trauma unit come talk to us about the practical realities of what it is to deal with somebody that has taken their own life or attempted to.
Yeah.
And they walked us through some help and resources and how to identify a problem before it exists. And we close with a psychotherapist that works with men in our industry about reframing their thoughts.
Yeah.
It was excellent. So after that, then it became we can't just do a one-off thing.
Yeah.
That doesn't help the conversation. And so then the Man Talk movement was born.
Yeah, when was that? How long ago was that?
And that's 3.5 years ago, and it was a real push. We had that first event the first week of December because because Christmas is a particularly critical period for mental health breakdowns. So so we did that. Then we did another national event the following year in both Sydney and Melbourne.
Yeah.
And then since then we've been running smaller activities as well, where it might be a hike and chat, smaller type group. So we've been doing that on an ongoing basis since. And the last event we did was on the 28th of May this year, and that was called the Power of Performance, because right at the moment there is the mood of the world is not very positive. There are financial pressures on almost everybody. And if you're in business or you are an employee, there's a lot of pressure on you. Fighting for your existence against AI, that's a very big trigger for everybody at the moment. And also, I don't want to lose my job. So the pressure on me to deliver a good sales outcome is also intense, right?
Yeah. A lot to carry.
So that was hugely powerful.
Yeah.
The pressure of performance. Unfortunately, I wasn't there. I was overseas.
I'm sure it was fine. But you've got the whole, what I love about this Man Talk, the whole thing that you've set up is it's that no filters, no judgment.
Yeah.
And what have you seen over time when men are given permission to show up as they are? And how are you encouraging men to join Man Talk as well? Because again, as we know, I'm a mum of 3 boys, 2 almost 3 teenagers. I've got 2 teenagers and 1 almost a teen, and I know they're a different kettle of fish to how girls roll. So they need to do an activity and not look at you in the eye to talk, and it's all of that. So how do you get these people to come, these men to come with an open mind?
Real, Kate, it's a struggle to get men onto events.
Yeah.
Especially when the theme is very overt. And so we had a very deliberate change from Man Talk to Man Talk Wellness with a focus on wellness.
Okay.
But just marketing wise, it's more appealing to say, let's get together and talk about how we can be better and fitter, both physically and mentally.
Yep.
So that was a soft change, I suppose, in language.
Yeah.
We then really tried to enlist a lot of leaders in our industry. We encourage people to bring a mate along.
Yeah, okay.
As well, and make your attendance part of, if you lead people or if you are around people, this is a great way to be able to learn to identify signs that somebody might be struggling and where you might be able to go to for help.
Yeah. And what kind of feedback?
But it's still a challenge to get men to turn up. Yeah.
I can see it would be, compared to women anyway, as a rule. And so what kind of feedback have you had from the men that have attended who may have been on the fence when they walked through the door or jumped online?
They feel more comfortable, honestly, Kate, when there's no women in the room. So so while Man Talk was founded by Tripti Goyal and myself, two women, we very much try to stay in the background.
Yep.
So we help with the marketing, the content posting, scheduling, the sponsorships, professional development hours, all that sort of those logistics and operations. But then we have an amazing team of Man Talk ambassadors that turn up to these events, promote the events, talk about the importance of looking after our mental health. So that's probably been the key.
Both,
And we also and we have had events too where there's been no photography, no videography, because that's been so that's always something that we mention up front. If anybody is uncomfortable, please let us know. Everything stops.
Yeah. And with that, with both sides, with the Women Supported Women and Man Talk, it's highly emotional, and there'd be a lot of stuff that you are privy to, a lot of information. And some days would be heavier than others, I'm understanding, but some days would be amazing and you'd just be flying high on your glitter trail. What keeps you coming back each time to do this on those good and bad days?
Yeah, so I've got a 24-year-old son who is incredible. And then I have a husband that's in his 50s that's maybe less enlightened.
Yeah.
And he would probably be typical of who we're targeting for Man Talk.
Yeah.
It's just generational.
Yeah.
But so for my son, he has no issue in feeling feelings and talking about how he feels. And he's incredibly proud of the fact that I am one of the co-founders of Man Talk.
That's
incredibly proud. And I'll share with you something. So mental health is a problem. So when I was overseas with my husband for almost 4 weeks in Sri Lanka and the Maldives, so my son's best friend died. He was 24 years of age. It was an accident, but his mental health was frail. And that my son and his cohort, they were all friends, were able to process that.
Yeah.
To be able to cry and weep openly with one another, to support one another, and not just in the instant. This has been ongoing. They're all here tonight. They're all part of a Dungeons and Dragons team. It's a community, right?
Yeah, and that's and that connection. Yeah, that's right.
Connection. They are the most incredibly well adapted group of 20-year-olds. That's male and female, and they thems. Absolutely incredible. And I think my husband's generation and I, it's a shame that we didn't grow up with exactly the same, no inhibitions.
Yeah.
But I also take some credit for that, because I think that their outspokenness, their awareness is because of what they've learned and also how they've been parented.
Oh, for sure. I have no doubt from talking to you, you'd be very open. But also, like you said, just our world in itself is far more open about talking about. And I always tell my boys, because they school is it's very open with everything now, with communication related to mental health. And I always remember when I grew up, it was always that unsaid thing. It was never, no one ever took their life. It was never even you weren't allowed to say it in the news. You weren't allowed to say a report on it or anything, in case it was that idealization would become everyone's thought process. But yeah, when you know better, you do better, right? And I'm massive on that. And this is where you are leading the charge with that. And hopefully, whilst there's still people losing their lives, you're also saving lives by getting them together and connecting them with like-minded people.
Yeah. And we know that, I suppose with Man Talk, one of the things that we offer as an organisation is a pro bono session with mental health expert.
Amazing.
So, which is, she charges out at like $200, which Man Talk funds, but that we've helped numerous men with basically an emergency hour session, to just bomb it out what's going on in here, and have somebody be able to triage that.
Yeah.
And give you some perspective, and then a what's your go forward plan from here.
That's so good.
So we're incredibly proud of that. And as the board and Mantle, we approve every payment of that. So we're mindfully aware. The last invoice that we funded was only back in April, and that was for somebody in our industry that was struggling. Somebody identified that,
Yeah.
reported it to one of our Mantalk ambassadors, who was straight on to the board to organise that session for the person.
Amazing. And that's
Go,
what you, it
we
works.
don't know where that lands, but we go, that potentially is one life that we saved.
Yeah, it's so good. And so,
only a couple of months ago.
and yeah, and you want a world where you don't get those calls, don't you? But we're still way off that. So the more you're getting, the more you know you're doing the right thing. And what has I'm just trying to get, there's so many things I've got to ask you. So what have been like the highs and lows? We'll try and sort of take them like Man Talk as one and Women Supporting Women as the other one. So for each of them, what have been the highs and what have been the lows? You've touched on a few of them across your journey. And what's the future for both of them as far as your involvement and the actual groups?
So women supporting women, if I had to think of a huge highlight. So last year we ran our very first International Women's Day event in Melbourne. We had that at the Carlton Footy Club, thanks to the generosity of Great Southern Bank, who were our number one sponsor for that. They also sponsor Carlton. I'm sorry, but that's who you sponsor. So we had an event there for 140, which was amazing. And I suppose to have such a huge turnout for that event, and we didn't want to shy away from important conversations. So we had a community leadership panel that spoke about women at all stages in life. So talking about women that are not yet in a relationship and the importance of them protecting themselves, their assets. We talk about red flags for family and domestic violence. Like that can start in pre-relationship phase. We then talked about women then now in a family perhaps trapped in those situations, how you have vulnerable conversations with those women, what you do to make them safe. We had Safe Haven ambassador Janine Cunningham talk about her personal story and what they do at Safe Haven to help women set up bank accounts in their own name, get Centrelink services, do all that, separate phones so that they can know that they're not being tracked by a coercive controller. We had a panel of women that talk about great divorce, what women can do. It was like absolutely a phenomenal day. So that was probably one of big highlights. Over the course of the last 5 years, we've raised over $100,000.
Wow.
For charities, including Safe Haven and Friend in Me.
Yeah.
For Mantalk, it's close to 25,000 that we've raised for Beyond Blue. So they would be absolute highlights for me. And Women Supporting Women continue to grow. Our plan is to get to 5,000 members within the next 5 years. So that's very exciting. And we're talking to some groups about collaborations in that space as well.
Amazing.
Where values are, aligned. Probably the thing that's a disappointment is with Mantalk, we put that on pause till the end of the year. Following the huge success of our 28 May event, where we literally got bombarded with organisations asking us to deliver workplace training, if you like.
Yeah, okay.
Which is amazing. But we simply don't have the resources at the moment to be able. Everybody that Nick Longo was our ambassador that spoke at that event. He is phenomenal. But he's volunteering his time to do that, and we can't fly him around the country.
Yeah.
So we're just taking a pause till the end of the year.
Yeah.
And to see then what that looks like for Mantalk in 2027.
Yeah.
But what we're really pleased about is since 3.5 years, it has inspired other men's group within our industry to grow.
Yep.
And we're pretty proud of that. And if if nothing else, if it's spurted 3 or 4 other groups, I think that's a pretty great outcome.
Absolutely. And your funding, I know you said you have people sponsor you. Do you get any funding otherwise, or are you solely reliant on funding or support from other organisations and
Yeah,
individuals?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
incredible. And all mostly volunteer run or all volunteer?
All of us are volunteers. Yes.
Yeah, amazing. Amazing. So many incredible people out there, and I just, doing amazing things. So, what if you could wave your magic glitter wand
Yes.
and you could create one shift in how we show up for each other, especially when it comes to mental health and connection, what would that look like for you?
That we knew for sure.
Yeah.
We don't. That would be the magic wand, to know that this is the moment that I need to pick up the phone, and
Yeah.
call Tracy, or that just to know that right now is when I need to send that GIF movie, to
Yeah.
Natasha via, Instagram.
Yeah.
To know for sure, to know if I say, "Hey, are you feeling okay?"
Mm.
That
Yeah.
I know that the answer that you give me is right or wrong.
Yes.
That would be the one thing I would like.
Yeah. That's so powerful. Now, a little bit lighter note now. We'll switch back a bit more to you personally. You've clearly got to this point of your life through lots of different different pathways you've taken, but who has been your glitter royalty that have inspired you to get to where you are today?
Well, right now it's my sexy boss ladies. So there's 6 of us that would support it. We wouldn't go a day without at least 96 messages going
Love
between
it.
us.
Love
So
it.
they're fantastic. But my real inspo, I think the woman that really changed me
Mm.
and maybe stopped me taking myself so seriously,
Mhm.
um, is a woman called Gay Ryan. She was my bestie. I met her when I rocked up at her guest house, her backpackers in Cairns.
Oh,
She
fun.
died, sadly, of cancer at the age of 53 over a decade ago.
Oh.
But she really challenged my thinking.
Mm. You need people like
And
that.
yes, yes, where if other people behave badly, that's not on you.
Yeah.
She went, you can buy into the drama or not buy into the drama. Like, the choice is totally yours. Yeah, just incredibly. And I gave the eulogy at her wedding, at her funeral, actually. And I said, because it's a tragedy that she died at 53, but oh my
Mm.
God, what a life she lived. Red hair. She would wear a sparkly, brunch coat in tropical far north Queensland for
Awesome.
breakfast on a Tuesday. Um, but at the end of my days, when I meet my maker, I hope that I can say I used up every bit of talent that you gave me and I have nothing left. And that was her.
Love it. That's given
Mm.
me goosebumps. How
Yeah.
lovely. And I love this question because everyone's got such different answers. There's always some really compelling ones, and that's up there, I have to tell you. Now, we're drawing to a close, and this is the easiest one question now. Where can people go to find out more about Women Supporting Women Network and Man Talk Wellness?
Yes. So both Man Talk Wellness and Women Supporting Women have accounts on LinkedIn.
Yep.
I have an account on LinkedIn as well. So if you follow me on LinkedIn, you will also find the links to Man Talk and Women Supporting Women.
Awesome.
And those channels are also, Women Supporting Women is on like all the social medias because we're for women.
Yeah.
Man Talk's just on LinkedIn.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes. Yes.
Keep it simple.
That's my husband. He doesn't do social media. It's very simple.
Yes, neither does mine. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. Well, we'll also put a link when this goes live as well, so people can follow through, click through. But Therese, thank you so much for joining me today on The Glitter Effect, for not only sharing your story, but for the work you are doing to make the world a better place. You truly are a glitter queen as far as I'm concerned. And it's clear glitter doesn't always come in the loud, shiny moments. Sometimes it's in the quiet spaces that you create for others to feel safe enough to speak, which you've done through the 2 things and everything you're involved in. You're creating connection where there was once silence, which I absolutely love. And let's just keep talking about this. You're reminding us all that community isn't just about showing up when it's easy. It's about holding space when it's hard.
Yeah.
And I think we all forget that, and we need a reminder of that. Your passion for helping others step into their purpose and build meaningful connections is something that truly ripples far beyond what you can see. You're an absolute glitter royalty in my eyes. Thank you for everything you're doing to make the world a better place, to be more connected and compassionate. I wish you all the very best with what's to come. Please keep in touch and keep sparkling. Take care.
Thank you, beautiful.
Thank you for joining me, Kate Ganneil, on The Glitter Effect. If you've loved this episode, be sure to subscribe, share it with a friend, and let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, keep showing up, making an impact, and sprinkling that glitter wherever you go. Bye for now.